Hi, my name is Paula, and today we're going to solve these problems. We're going to identify the functional group in each molecule by structure and by name. Then we're going to give the group of compounds to which the molecule belongs. Finally, we're going to explain how I name these compounds, and I need to write the IUPAC name below each compound. Okay, for the first one, we have to identify the functional group. Okay, here we know it belongs to the hydroxyl group because it's an alcohol, because it has oxygen and hydrogen, and it's a hydroxide. Now we have to find the longest continuous chain that contains the OH group, the hydroxide group. Now we have to number the carbon atoms starting from the end closest to the hydroxide group. Okay, here we finally numbered these carbon atoms. Now we have to indicate the position of the hydroxide group along the chain. We also have to identify the other carbon atoms that are bonded to my parent chain. Here we can see that our hydroxide group is bonded to carbon atom 1. We can also see that we have more carbon atoms bonded to our parent chain in number 2, 4, and 5. So now that we have identified these, we have to put number 2, 4, 5, 3-methyl hexane, because our parent chain is formed by 6 carbon atoms, and we have to add the 1 ol. The name ends in OL, which indicates the presence of a hydroxyl. The 1 ol means the hydroxyl group is attached to carbon number 1. So the name is 2, 4, 5, 3-methyl hexane, 1 ol. Okay, for letter B, we can identify that it's an alkyne because of the triple bond. Now we identify the parent chain. Then we number the carbon atoms. We have to number the carbon atoms starting by the carbon atoms closest to the triple bond. We have to identify to which carbon atom is bonded to the bromo. So the bromo is bonded to my 5th carbon atom. The parent chain is formed by 5 carbon atoms, so it's 5 bromo pent, 2 ine. The 2-ine is because the triple bond is between the carbon 2 and carbon 3. Okay, for letter C, we identified that it belongs to the group carbonyl and it's a ketone. Carbonyl group consists of a carbon atom double bonded to an oxygen atom. It's a ketone because the carbonyl group is bonded to 2 other carbon atoms. Now we have to identify the parent chain, and we have to number starting by the carbon atoms closest to my carbonyl group. Remember to identify other carbon atoms bonded to my parent chain. Here is bonded to my carbon atom number 4. And my carbonyl group is on carbon atom number 3. So the final name is 4-methyl hexane 3,1. The suffix 3,1 is 4 is to identify that it's a ketone and it's in carbon number 3. For letter D, this belongs to carboxyl group. Carboxyl acid because there is a carbon atom double bonded with an oxygen and a hydroxide, OH. Now we have to identify our parent chain, and remember to number your carbon atoms starting by the carbon atom closest to the carboxyl group. Okay, here we also identify that there are 2 carbon atoms bonded to my 4th carbon atom of my parent chain. So is 4, 4 the methyl pentanoic acid. We use the suffix "the" because we have 2 carbon atoms bonded to my 4th carbon atom of my parent chain. It's pentanoid because my parent chain is formed with 5 carbon atoms. And the suffix "ionic acid" indicate that the compound contains a carboxyl group. For letter E, it's carbonyl group because there is a carbon atom double bonded with an oxygen atom. Aldehyde because the carbonyl group is at the end of the carbon chain, and it also means that the carbonic carbon is bonded to one hydrogen atom and one another carbon atom. We have to identify the parent chain and to number, starting by my carbon atom closest to my carbonyl group. And here we can identify that it is isopropyl because it consists of 3 carbon atoms that are bonded to my third carbon atom of my parent chain. Okay, so it's 3-isopropyl heptanal because we know that my parent chain consists of 7 carbon atoms. This is an alkane, meaning they contain only single bonds between carbon atoms. Now we have to identify our parent chain. Here we can notice that our parent chain is formed by 4 carbon atoms, and these are bonded to bromo and chloro. So it's 3-bromo 1,-dichlorobutane. We use the suffix "di" because we can identify that there are 2 chloros, and butane because my parent chain is formed by 4 carbon atoms.